What's up, people? I'm Shaggy the Opinionated Hippie, and this is my album of the week for the week of September 20th through September 26th. 2024, 19 something, 1974. My album of the week, as you can tell, is the Bob Dylan, the 1974 live recordings sampler. It probably would be the actual live recordings, the 27 disc box set that I believe captures 19 complete 1974 performances of Bob Dylan in the band. But I have not received my 27 disc box set in the mail yet. It was supposed to come on Tuesday. It got pushed to tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get home and it will be here tomorrow. 27 discs. When I bought it back in July, I had birthday money. I still have relatives who send me birthday money on my birthday. Older relatives, aunts and uncles and stuff like that. They still send me cash. I used some of that cash to buy this box set, which when I bought it, every CD was like less than $5. So I was like, I can't pass this up. Hasn't come yet. I was dying to sort of break into it earlier this week or end of last week. Did not arrive. And so I found this on Spotify, the 1974 live recording sampler. I'm not sure it's an actual physical release. I believe it is only like on streaming, maybe to entice people to buy the box set, which is reasonably priced. I think now on Amazon, it's still less than $200, which, it's less than $10 a disc. It's like more like $7, $8 a disc. Not a bad price. And if this is a sampler, so, okay, what the box set is 19 complete shows. I think it's 19. From January, February 1974. It's with the band. This is the same tour that the Document Before the Flood, fantastic Dylan live release. Those materials were culled from this tour. And so what we have is, I think it's billed as every complete soundboard recording that they have available from that tour. In the actual shows, there would be a set, or like maybe an opening and closing set, I believe. That was both Bob Dylan with the band as his backing band. There was an acoustic set with just Bob Dylan, acoustic and harmonica of him singing. There was a set with just the band playing band songs. And this box set and the sampler is only the Bob Dylan stuff. We don't have the band songs, which were featured on Before the Flood, just the Bob Dylan stuff. And the sampler represents a good variety of shows. We got shows as early as January 3rd, one of the early shows. One of the highlights of the box of the sampler, for sure. A solo acoustic version of Nobody Except You, which I believe was from the Planet Waves recording sessions, was not released until Bootleg Series Volumes 1 through 3. It was on 3. This version is just amazing. Bob, solo acoustic. It's heartfelt. It's urgent. It pulls at your heartstrings. Completely redefines this song. And just, to me, it might be the highlight of the sampler at this point in my listening of it. So we as early as January 3rd, and then we have material as late as, I think, the Form shows in February, the 14th. Which were primarily, I think a lot of this was source material for Before the Flood. We get a version of the Times Era Change in solo acoustic. But this is a fantastic sampler. And I understand there's probably a lot of people that are not going to buy a 27 disc box set. So check out this sampler. Listen to it on streaming. I believe it only exists on streaming, so you're not taking money away from anybody. I did check on Amazon, and all that popped up were the individual songs. I did not find a hard release. So seek this out. Listen to it. You get 20 tracks. Opens up with 4 really solid electronic with the band tracks. Most likely Your Go Your Way, I'll Go Mine, which is just a home run. So I think some shows they encored, closed with it. Here it's opening the entire set. Fantastic. Hit it out of the ballpark. Just like Tom Thumb's Blues. I wouldn't take this version over the official version, or maybe even other versions I've heard, but it's still fantastic. Got to give a shout out to the band, all members. but particularly Robbie Robertson, his guitar playing. Like, if this isn't a piece of evidence in the case for him being one of the most underappreciated guitar players in the history of underappreciated guitar players, I don't know what is. I mean, listen to this. There are songs where he is just like, the Ballad of Hollis Brown, man, the stuff Robbie is doing on that, another highlight of this album, just stands out. There's energy, there's urgency, there's just like, Dylan is great, Robbie's great, the band is great. Fantastic stuff. Getting ahead of myself. Just like Tom Thumb's Blues, we get a Mr. Tambourine Man with a full band. This is probably one of the tracks where I'm like, yeah, I would rather hear this as a solo acoustic piece. I think the writing in this is so strong that just Dylan and the simplicity of a performance makes the sort of spellband binding folk psych energy even more like hypnotic. I like hearing this version. That's the beauty with Dylan is, anytime he goes out and tours, you're going to hear really weird, different versions of songs. They might not hold up to the original. They might not hold up to the previous tour, but they're never boring. And while I wouldn't take this Mr. Tambourine Man over others, I like hearing it. I like the energy. It's a different energy. It's a band energy. And then another highlight for this that I probably would not have guessed would be a highlight looking at it. Something There Is About You. Something There Is About You. Love that title. Another Planet Waves track. Just a great song, pretty straightforward version of it, but the urgency, the band sounds great. Dylan sounds fantastic. And coming at the tail end of this opening run of 4 songs, really that opening, Most Likely You Go Your Way, just grabs you. The Just Like Tom and Mr. Tambourine Man are probably hit and miss, depending on what you think of the originals, but they're not bad. They're just like, oh, that was interesting, went somewhere different, good for a show. But then the Something There Is About You is just fantastic. We then get a run of acoustic songs. Dylan sounds fantastic. The guitar sounds fantastic. The sound sounds fantastic. There's an urgency to all of Dylan's performances. We get a Love Minus Zero, No Limit. We get a She Belongs to Me. We get another highlight, Wedding Song, just urgency, just sounds like it matters. Dylan sounds like he's having a blast performing it. Like Love Minus Zero and She Belongs to Me, like 2 almost perfect Dylan sort of acoustic songs. Then to follow it up with the urgency of the Wedding Song, which is then followed up with Nobody Except You. Just this 4-song run is just like, for how awesome the opening 4 songs are with the band, with that full electric band energy. Like these next 4 songs where it's just Dylan, like it's like, hey, at its core, you have the greatest singer-songwriter in the history of forever. You only need a microphone and a guitar, and he's going to blow your mind. It's an amazing listen. And I'm someone who buys like all those bootleg series and gets all the the one with like the religious one where you had those extra shows at the end. Like I've overindulged in those, and yet still, this live stuff from like 50 years ago, the urgency, just the performance, it's amazing, amazing stuff. Dylan had not toured in a while. Motorcycle accident, get away from the public, do other things. You can tell he enjoys being back on stage. Like these shows, I just think these shows are amazing. We get 2 more hit it out of the ballpark electric songs. Really weird, It Ain't Me, Babe, in which he's trying his best to just like disguise this song. And then the Ballad of Hollis Brown, another one which is just like, wow, man, hitting it out of the ballpark. And Robbie Robertson's guitar, amazing. Allergies are really bad. A cold front's blowing here in Texas, which is awesome because now it's only going to be like low 90s for the rest of the week. But with it's coming a lot of cedar, and I'm not good with cedar. Then we get Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll. I would take the version that would follow on the following tour, the Rolling Thunder Review. Those are venomous. Those are angry. Those are like, Dylan is on like he wrote Hurricane. He's just angry. He's got a lot of venom. What he did with the Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll on that tour, I think, is like a must hear for anybody. This is a great performance. One of my favorite songs of Dylan, but this has almost like a frustrated resignation to it. Just like, this is the country we live in. Here's a story about something that happened, racism. just scales of justice are not even, blah, blah, blah. And it just fantastic song, but there's like this resignation, like, yeah, this just sucks. And it seems like by the following year, he's like, it sucks, but we're gonna burn it down. This album makes me happy. Then we get at the times they are changing. I don't need that they are the times they are changing at this point in my life. The album closes off with a blowing in the wind. I don't need those songs, but listening to them and listening to the words and realizing that this performance is 50 years old. These songs are 60 years old. And yet the lyrics still matter. The message still resonates. Nothing has changed. This is still a folk song. These are still folk songs that everybody, like the world, needs to listen to and own and like learn lessons from. And the fact that he wrote these 60 years ago and they still resonate today when performed 50 years ago, just again to the greatness of Bob Dylan. We get a Gates of Eden, fantastic Gates of Eden, and It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, fantastic It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. Then we close out with just a run of full-on, like, end-of-show type rockers with the band. A Maggie's Farm. Give me a Maggie's Farm that's been released live that isn't absolutely fascinating. Easily one of Dylan's most consistent, best live songs, no matter what tour he's doing it on. We get the brilliantly short All Along the Watchtower. It's like Dylan doing Hendrix, but Dylan's short studio version. Verse, short solo, verse, another short solo, verse. We are out. But it's the most effective 2.5 minutes on here. I'd put other songs above it, but it gets me every time. It's perfect every time. It's exactly what you need. Highway 61 Revisited. This might be my favorite live version of Highway 61 Revisited. It just, the studio version has a little bit of wackiness in it that I've always thought undercut maybe some of the message. This one's not wacky. This one's rocking, high energy. Again, the band sounds amazing. Robbie Robertson, the stuff he's doing sounds amazing. I think it's a different song, has better energy, I think. It just hits a little bit harder. I might say the same thing for Like a Rolling Stone. Might be the case that I haven't listened to Before the Flood in a long time, since I last listened to Dylan or since I reviewed him on this channel, just because there's so much other stuff to listen to. But the songs that are repeated on there from here, these versions, and they're from a couple weeks earlier in the tour than the ones I think we got them Before the Flood. I think most of those are from the Forum. But whether or not they are, I've tried not to compare to where they're coming from, because when I get my box set, I want to discover like, oh, this is from the sampler. I want that experience in real time. So I haven't kind of checked up on these dates. But this Like a Rolling Stone, I don't know why. I mean, probably the Judas version is the best. But this one, there's an energy to it. There's a like, everybody's happy to be playing it. It doesn't sound tired. It doesn't sound like we got to do it. It just, all of it's working. Forever Young, not one of my favorite songs. This one works. It's just full band performance, good energy. And then we close out with a pretty good Blowing in the Wind that gets a gigantic audience response when he starts it. That again, just resonates. The words still work. Why? Why have we not made progress in the 50 years since this performance or the 60 years since he wrote this song? It's heartbreaking, humanity. Humanity, listen to more Dylan. But easily my album of the week. I feel weird picking this as an album of the week, but it is by far the thing I've listened to most this week that's new. I have no idea what my plans are with that 19 box set, whether I'm actually going to, or that 27 box set, whether there is, if you're watching this and you've made it this far and you have any interest in thoughts on those shows, let me know. I need very little inspiration to like make videos about those things, because that's going to be a roller coaster ride of joy to listen to those albums. But yeah, seek this out, man. Like, again, I think it's only available on streaming, so don't feel bad about streaming it. And even if you don't have time to listen to the whole thing, I think it's like 2 hours long, check out those things that maybe wouldn't necessarily jump out at you. That Something There Is About You, the Wedding Song, the Nobody Except You, the Wicked Ballad of Hollis Brown. Like, give those your attention, because those are just absolutely fantastic. Dylan sounds amazing. The performances are amazing. It's some really, really good stuff. But yeah, that's what I got. That's my album of the week. I encourage you to check it out. Let me know your thoughts if you have. If you got the box set already and you've already been able to dive into it, unlike me, let me know your thoughts on that, how those shows are going. I'm super excited. My plan is to listen to a show a week. So I'm going to spend half a year, more than half a year, listening to that box set. Super excited about it. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, like, comment, do those things you do. And peace. Go listen to some Dylan, people. Talk to you later.